Today, I am sitting down with Gem Montero, a real estate investor based in Arizona who came to this country, worked a W-2 job, and went on to flip hundreds of homes in just 6 years. And in this conversation, we are talking about who Gem had to become to build that level of success, how he founded and funded his very first deal, and what most people misunderstand about getting started in real estate investing. We also get real about the mistakes, where money is actually lost on flips, the biggest lessons he learned the hard way, and the systems and team that allow him to scale without the crazy chaos. If you are a real estate agent or an inspiring investor who wants the truth behind the numbers, not the TV version, this episode is for you, and we are diving into it right now. How do entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and experts like you scale a massive business all while having fun and impacting lives? Welcome to the Play Bigger podcast. I'm your host, Raquel Quinet, business coach, real estate entrepreneur, investor, wife, and sports mom. This podcast will give you real quick tips, strategies, tools, and inspire you to play bigger in business and in life. Are you ready? Let's grow to the next level. Welcome to the Play Bigger podcast. I have a very special guest. As you know, I love interviewing people that actually play bigger and have experience in their craft. And my guest today is a real estate investor, flipper based in Gilbert, Arizona, or I should just say Arizona. And his journey has been absolutely incredible. I actually met him through social media, just seeing his stories. He came to the US from the Philippines. He worked a W-2 job and then made this bold leap to flip over 200 homes. Now, that is not a small feat by any means, as some of you guys know, in just 6 years. So beyond real estate, he's a dedicated dad, a father, a husband, right? Balancing family, business, all the things. And so he brings real world experience, and I'm excited to have him on the show. So welcome to the show, Gem Montero.
Thank you. Oh, what an intro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I had to do some research, right? So let's talk about from the beginning. You came to this country, you worked a traditional job, because we're going to get right into it, and you built a business flipping over 200 homes. And I know that does not happen by accident. So who did you have to become to build that? And what drove you to actually do that? Did you accidentally just stumble and be like, oh, I'm going to go flip some houses in a new place that I don't even know?
Right. It's kind of like how I got here. So I migrated, immigrant back in 2003, when I was 21. I kind of mentioned earlier before I started recording. I was fortunate enough to kind of have that opportunity, given to me, kind of hey, you can go over there to the States and, figure out what life you can have, and you have better opportunities over there, pretty much, than over in the Philippines. So it took that leap with anybody migrating. I didn't know anything. My path was literally typical. It's hey, you can be a nurse or you can be whatever. Because I don't have a degree. Even up to this day, I don't have a college degree. But I just took that leap and went over here and then started working all kind of different jobs. I worked at a grocery store, gas station. But I worked at American Airlines for a long time, and I went to the medical field. I was a phlebotomist for a long time, and my last corporate job was I was a business analyst for American Airlines. But kind of what made that transition is that in essence is when my first daughter was born 10 years ago, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know how or what, and then I kind of stumbled upon basically personal development. I started reading books, Bigger Pockets, way back then. Started doing a lot of research and all this stuff. And then it connected to me that real estate can be a path for actually what I've been trying to do all this time. It kind of spoke to me that I can, just mindset shift, that I can be somebody or something and chase that freedom, as opposed to the traditional way of I don't want to work till I'm 65 and hopefully retire. And so that's kind of how I actually ended up chasing that path. And then, I got licensed. I'm a licensed agent too, but I'm obviously I'm not
Practicing.
super
Yeah.
active at it. I don't even list my own stuff. I don't know, like any kind of like investor. I tried wholesaling in the beginning. I suck at it. I'm not good. I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
But it paved the way to kind of like meet all the key players in the valley. And then it just kind of evolved from there.
So how did you get your first deal? I love this because there's a lot of people that read,
Yeah.
that even go to these classes and these seminars like on the
Yeah.
weekend and go like, I want to be a flipper, but like they never really take action. So it sounded like you started wholesale first. Like you actually had the guts to even do that, right? How
No,
did you get your first deal?
it was actually tough because I used to go to all these meetups, like
Right.
you learn all this, things like pull lists and call. I used to ask my wife to call for me and like text and whatever. It's like it wasn't fun because like I was, like I gotta admit, like I'm not, it wasn't my strength.
Right.
And then like Templeton, we have a common friend, like Templeton
Yeah.
too. So I met Temp like I honestly don't remember 2019. And then we immediately kind of like hit it off. We have, we align on this, a lot of values like family. We have the same investing style. He's just a little bit more gunslinger than I am, but but so
I'm always like, Temp, what are you up to now, today?
yeah, I know. I was actually like, I talked to him last night. It's like, because we have a few deals cooking right now, but I was like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on Raquel's podcast. It's like, oh, tell her I said hi.
Yeah. He's awesome.
But yeah, so I met Temp, and then like I always like tell this to like everybody. It's like I had basically I had all the education already by self studying and all that stuff. But when I had met Temp, my proposition to him, it's like, hey, I don't need you to teach me in essence, but it's like I just need you to like basically in a roundabout way show me kind of maybe open the doors for me and I'll take it from there. So
Yeah.
he kind of took me under, we started doing deals together like for I don't know in 2020 all the way to like for like 3-4 years. We did tons of deals, pretty much like flips and everything. So that's one of the key things, like on the first deal, in essence, it's like I actually just like, I'm trying to remember which one's my first deal. First flip, I think I just found it on Instagram. I just like hit up an agent and and then I asked him, it's like, hey, does the numbers look good? Yeah, let's do it. And then and then it just started from there. Wholesale,
That's cool.
I think it's the same thing. I think I just found it in the MLS, and it's like I just had that. I was just so hungry to get in the game that I was willing to kind of, I don't know, take that leap in essence.
Yeah. Congrats to you for, again, meeting and being open-minded, because I
Yeah.
know that even in this business, like any business, there's people you can trust and there's people you can't trust, right? And so, like,
100%.
what do you
Yeah.
think, what do most people misunderstand when it comes to flipping? Because I know people go and watch these shows, because I've been in this industry for over 2 decades, and they're like, oh, real estate's so easy. Flipping is so easy. Like, you get $100,000 property and you make $1 million, or you make like, so much profit.
Yeah.
It doesn't always go that way. Like, they don't show those
No.
things,
No.
So what do you think people misunderstand when it comes to flipping? And we're going to talk about like bad deals too.
Yeah, well, there's actual like, there's inherent risk to it. It's like literally, it's like, and there's certain. Actually, it's not leading. There's a lot of risk to like flipping. It's like you have to like you're dealing with like capital, whether it's your own capital or somebody else's capital. The mindset that you have to go in to actually like do these deals. It's like it's not easy. It's like even for me, it's like it's one of the hardest things for me. It's like carrying that weight of actually like oh, I have X amount of money out there. It's like, is it gonna be fine? It's like, but you have to have that mindset. Like it's it just no. yeah, like people don't show that on TVs. They kind of like the, you just see like the, hey, it's trash and now it's going to be,
This
like
beautiful thing.
beautiful, right? TV
Yeah.
worthy, but it's like in the back end of it is like, oh, there's like so many other things. There's so many decisions that goes into it.
Yeah.
There's so many mistakes. Like every house is different. You're gonna make mistakes. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
those are the
definitely.
things
I mean,
that
I think
people
I
don't
put
see.
flooring before I painted in my early days, and I was like, oh, that's backwards. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
you learn as you go,
yeah,
all the mistakes of what not to do. But
a
you guys
hundred
have like
percent.
some of the best designs as well that's on the market. And I think
No,
you
thank you.
own another company as well, right?
Yeah, so I now so my kind of my primary business is like real estate, like flipping and developing, and then I have a retail business. It's all online, pretty much. Like I distribute flooring, tile, and
That's it.
countertops and stuff. Yeah. So
No,
and I
was
have
that
a
always part of the path, or like did somebody come with you as an opportunity, or you actually built it from the ground up?
I actually built it from the ground up because it's like I was using it's Bedrosian styles that I kind of like distribute a lot because it's like I primarily use them. So over time I just built these relationships and I kind of like what, I can help people get this amazing prices and using these products too. It's just kind of like one of the verticals that kind of like as you go along the way kind of like what, I can monetize this and at the same time it's like help people in essence.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like being an agent, pretty much. It's having all those like tools in your tool belt, not just being, focus on. You have to focus on like literally to be really great on one thing, but you also need to have an assortment of kind of tools to
Yeah,
be able to,
diversify.
right? At least be dangerous in like some aspects, pretty much.
That's really, first of all, congratulations. What a neat story. So now you've been doing this for what, 6 years, since 2020, you said?
Yeah, 6 years full time. Yeah,
Then like I would say, obviously we've seen the market just in
yeah,
Arizona, and,
right,
and when it comes to flipping, I think the numbers have to make sense, right? Because
right,
if not, like a big mistake could end up costing you the whole profit,
right,
right? So
yeah.
like, how has your theory change as the market change, or your buy box, or like your profit, or your model? How does, I'm assuming by doing 200 you have some type of model that like, this is my buy box, this is what
Yeah,
we're putting in as far as repairs go, and this is our
yeah.
budget, and this is our timeline.
So on that note, it kind of like like the actual Arizona market has gone through like different kind of like ups and downs since 2020.
Right.
So we had when I started, it was like everything was selling. Obviously, like everything was like two
I know,
percent,
if like we could go
interest rate.
back to 2020 and
Yeah,
buy everything right
yeah,
now.
exactly. It's like So like, and then when it shifted in mid 2022, it's like I learned the hard way, pretty much. Like, because like we made good money in 2020 and 2021. And then like when it shifted in 2022, when the interest rates skyrocketed basically like overnight, I mean, I personally lost a lot of money. It's like I know
Right.
everybody did.
Yep.
So in terms of the buy box, it's like I personally analyze it like almost every month, and then kind of like talk to a lot of like fellow investors, agents, lenders, kind of like, hey, what are you seeing? Because it's like I used to focus more on everything, and then kind of like shifted to focus like luxury. And when the market kind of shifted, kind of like what, I'm gonna focus more on like in 2023, 24, and even last year, I was focusing more on like like medium price
Middle of
homes,
the market.
right? But those weren't working like last year because like interest rates like at a 6.5 interest rate on a first time home buyer on a $500,000 house, when you're putting 5% down, 2.5 FHA, it doesn't work
Right.
because like your mortgage is gonna be like, I don't know, almost 3,000 a month.
Right.
So I have to like kind of like, it comes with the territory. Like you're gonna make mistakes,
Yeah.
but the only way you actually like lose money is if you actually like stop. Pretty much, you have to keep going, and you have to constantly
Kind of
kind of
like
like
a drug,
analyze and
right?
pivot.
It's like this cycle.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
In real estate, if you stop, it's like you have no business for 90 days. if you stop
Right.
hunting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to keep going. Yeah, that's part of the. It's kind of like dollar cost averaging in stocks. It's like it doesn't matter if it's up or down, whatever. You stop buying, you lose money.
What do you think is the most important skill to have when it comes to being a flipper or an investor?
That's like that's a really good question. There's multiple different kind of traits that you need to have, but you need grit. Like, I think it's with anything, any kind of business, but like especially with like real estate investing, it's like you need a lot of grit because you're gonna fall on your face first, like a lot. So you got to be able to like you got to be mentally strong to actually like handle a lot of like stresses, and then I think it's like one of the most important like things like for me, and then like in a little bit of a to be able to actually like be truly successful at it, it's like you need like a healthy amount of risk taking.
Yeah,
because it's like not in a gambling way, but you kind of in a more educated way, I guess.
Contractors for a little bit, right, until they leave your project and go to another one, right, or they don't get the job because they get busy getting their own jobs, right? So you do take a lot of risk through this whole process of flipping. Let's not
100%.
Sugarcoat it from like the acquisition all the way down to like when it actually sells.
Right, 100%. Yeah.
So I love that capacity, not only in like the grit part of it, but capacity, like the financial capacity of like taking a risk on some things and betting.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Because it's like, like with everybody, when I started, I didn't have money.
Right.
It's like, I got to make sure, like you don't take losses that you can't basically like withstand. Because it's like, momentum is like really key in this business. Like with anything, really.
Did you have hard as your first flip when you say like you didn't have money in the business? Just for those that are listening right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like even up to today, like anybody. Like I speaking for myself. Like I always use like private money, hard money, like basically like on the acquisition side, and then I'll. It's more private in essence, and then I'll use my own money. I'll have a gap funding to actually like gap the
cover
to cover like the actual like basically like the difference, like to cover your costs of like rehab and your actual like holding costs and stuff.
So tell me, like, and tell the listeners what's been the biggest, 200 plus, right? So what has been the financial loss that you've ever taken on a deal? Like, this
biggest
is real
one.
For my listeners.
2022. When I had a company in 2022, I think we lost $1 million.
$1 million on one deal?
Oh, not in one deal. Sorry, combination of all the deals. But like in one deal, me personally, shoot, I don't even remember. Maybe like 60, 80.
Wow. Okay, so here's the other like crazy question is like, what's the most expensive, like cheap decision? Like you thought you were going cheap, but it ended up becoming your most expensive decision you made. Because we all get into that as flippers. We sometimes like have to cut corners, right? And then we're like, it didn't work out.
Shoot, that's a good one. I always like in kind of like major mechanicals like roof and AC, for example. Right. It's like it's hard to do it now, obviously, because it's like it's like buyers are more. It's still a buyer's market in essence.
Right.
So.
Right.
Like if it's like with anybody, you kind of just like you think the roof's gonna be fine, you think the AC is gonna be fine because it's working. But it's like one of those like decisions is basically kind of be if you would have just like taken care of it like up front, it's like you won't have to like deal with it in the back end
later.
Because it's right. It's like it's always gonna come up, like those kind of stuff. This kind of like happy medium, kind of like should you do it or not? But in certain cases, kind of the answer is always yes. Like if you're kind of like doubting yourself and kind of should I replace a certain thing. It's always kind of shoot. Yeah, like I should have done it. Yeah. Or especially cabinets. Cabinets, I have a hard time like keeping older cabinets. Some of them are nice.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I kind of do I paint it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've done it before. I painted it, and it came back there. Oh, this looks stupid. Then you rip it. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
it's like
I've
it just
definitely had
costs
my
time
fair
and
share
money.
of painting cabinets. A contractor did it and it started peeling, right? Like it
Right.
was not done
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
So
you
yeah,
you
those are
live
one
and
of the
learn
yeah,
for
those are
sure.
one of the items. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So how do you like evaluate deals now? I mean, I've seen you do historic, I've seen
Yeah.
you do things from ground up. You've obviously done
Yeah.
luxury, right? So
Yeah.
like how do you evaluate your deals? What are your non-negotiables? Like what's an immediate like no for you when it comes to I'm sure people pass deals to you left and right,
Right. Yeah.
given your name and given your experience.
Yeah. Almost immediate, like, no is anything on the main road, especially fronting or siding. That's a hard no.
Okay.
I'm just like, nah, I just don't feel like taking that risk. I'm super kind of like, I pay attention a lot in the area itself. I know a lot of people make great money in like kind of like even on, I don't know how to say it, like maybe a B, C class, like neighborhoods.
Neighborhood?
I personally don't do it because it's like I just don't. I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah.
So it's
You
not.
don't want your
It's
appliances stolen. You know?
right. I just don't want to. I
Your
just don't want to
tools
deal with it. Or
stolen. Yeah.
right, or kind of like driving an hour and a half to be at the house. As much
Yeah.
as I want to like do deals in like up north,
Right.
I know I'll never go over there.
Yeah.
It's too far.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
let's talk about that. Like how often do you check on the properties when or do you have like what does your team look like? Do you have people that go and do these like weekly inspections or after a certain thing's done? Like what does that look like for you in your business?
So in a few years ago, I had a whole we had a whole team, employees like has like project managers and stuff. But like since 2022, I basically lead the whole operations. I do everything pretty much,
Okay.
but I just make sure I check in on like houses like at least like once a week.
Okay.
And then I just have like all my trusted subs essentially kind of like, hey, where are we at and all this stuff. And then if there's really like major decisions that I need to like see, I'll show up over there, besides that once a week pretty much. You have to kind of be on top of it and make sure like there's always progress happening.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, like I just remembered I have a house in East Mesa. I'm like, somebody should be there today. I haven't checked in, so
Yeah. How do you deal with like
yeah.
sometimes you think your contractors are showing up and they're not? Like, do you have a system? How do you manage everything? Is it like on a whiteboard? I'm sure you just don't have one project that's going on right now.
I actually like. It's funny enough. Like I don't have a. I really don't.
Wild. Oh
I
my
know. It's like
God.
literally. I just
Like
know my
you scaled
threshold.
with all of your like capacity in your head. That's awesome.
I just know my threshold. Kind of. I try to stay. If I'm around 5 or 6 houses at a time,
Yeah.
I can do it in clockwork. I don't need it. I don't need it kind of like more. Like an actual visual timelines and all this
Checklist.
stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can handle all the way to like 10, like doing that, but it gets chaotic.
Yeah.
But it's
Do you ever like confuse
anything.
bids and receipts from like project to project? Because sometimes
So
you're using the same contractor. And you're
right.
like,
So I have a I
"What's
can't
the address?"
right. I have a master basically like spreadsheet that kind of like flows into like the cost and all that stuff.
Right.
Like my wife like maintains it, and then our bookkeeper like goes in there.
Gotcha.
But the actual progress of each houses,
The project management part of it.
the project management stuff, it's on my head. Sorry, I think that's
You're hearing it.
that's how I do
The
it.
real deal from a
I know I should have like I used to like I said like I just know kind of like what my capacity is with the amount of time I need to that I know it's not gonna be brain damage, but I just don't. I try not to cross that threshold pretty much.
yeah.
And then I know like I just have a full clarity kind of like if I'm gonna cross the threshold, I need to plug in like different people.
Yeah.
So I learned that as I went through like my career so far, and then I just have a number that I want to do like in terms of volume a year. It's not
Yeah.
even volume. I don't focus on the volume itself. I just focus on the actual like revenue. If I hit I hit this profit, the volume's gonna follow, and that
Right.
number is not really all that crazy.
Yeah.
So I just I need X to live, and I need another X to actually like, to
Run the
like
business. Yeah.
run the business and be profitable and keep investing. And that's it. I keep it simple. As much as like I said, like I'm just really clear. Like I don't. My kids are still young.
Yeah.
Like I want to spend as much time with them as much as I can. I go on everything. I try to take them to school, pick them up.
That's awesome.
I'm not saying like a different time, a different phase in life will be different probably. Maybe in a few years I'll start cranking it up again. I'll do like 30 at a time or something. I don't know.
That's great. Well, you heard it from the source, right? Sometimes you have so much experience. I will caveat that though, what you just said,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think you have so much experience that you can run it in your head. For the newer people that are getting into investing, I probably would suggest some type of checklist, some type of like system, or be with a
100%.
mentor. But he's
Right.
done it so many times. Like we've sold real estate so many times that we can do it like with our eyes closed today, right? From
Right.
beginning to end. But when you've done it
Yeah.
so many times, like you rely on your experience versus a system. And then when you scale,
100%.
you probably put it, and you have other people watching your business, then that's when systems come into play.
Right, 100%. Yeah, no, for sure. Like kind of like with an agent, like if you have so many files,
Right.
like you need a TC. That's like
Yeah.
you got to keep track on those deadlines and stuff.
Right.
But like as agents, like I know exactly kind of like, hey, when does this date is where the Binzers due. This is where all these documents are due. So,
sure.
but no, 100%. I highly advise don't do it the way I'm doing it.
But it's so funny that you say that. I was like, as you were like talking, you remind me of one of my clients that I had coached out in the Bay, and I was like, they actually need to meet each other because he could run
That's
100
awesome.
transactions, immigrant too from the Philippines, right? Like
Oh, that's
on his
awesome.
notes app. He just knows.
Yeah.
He's such a hustler, right? And he's in Daly
Yeah.
City, and he's like, Raquel, I don't even have like a spreadsheet with all of our escrows. It's all on my notes app. I just know, and I share that with whichever partner that I have that's on the deal. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
it's,
exactly.
find the
Yeah.
system that works for you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There's no, I don't know, like an actual boilerplate that whatever works for you. It's like some people like need like an actual checklist and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Some people
But I also
like,
think like some people get ready and they never get ready. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? Like they
Yeah,
do all these
like-
classes. This is why I wanted you on the podcast, is because you're actually out there doing the thing, and it doesn't have to be perfect.
right. Oh, no, 100%. It's like literally action, taking action is like, taking imperfect action will like trump anything. Like I don't care how much preparation anybody has.
Yeah.
If you're prepared to prepare and without an action, I already failed like 5 times and then you haven't done anything. It's
Yeah.
like I've already adjusted. I already figured out. Like, I'm trying to remember who said it, but it's like the most successful billionaires they just move so fast.
They do.
They move so fast and they make
Say the
decisions
same
so
thing with
fast.
our coaching clients, right?
Yeah.
How have
It
you
does-
scaled
yeah.
so many people in this industry, and they're at the top of the game. Some of the very top
Yeah.
at different brands. I said they move extremely fast. They create
Yeah.
mess, but they have like people to clean it up, but they're just not afraid to actually
Right.
move.
Yeah, it's like that. Like you need that, and kind of like, especially in flipping or investing, real estate investing, you can't overanalyze things.
It's gonna be
The
gone.
deal will like literally be gone in like 2. That's how fast it is. And then
Yeah.
I learned this from Temp when in the beginning I overthink a lot of things, and like he just
Yeah.
like told me, it's like, hey man, it's like you're really good. Just make a decision.
Yeah.
It's like literally, it's not life or death. If you make a mistake, you can always correct it
Figure it
later.
out.
Yeah, not to be reckless,
your,
but at
like-
the same time, it's like
Yeah. So, what does your typical week look like? Did the deals come to you, and then you just basically, or you're actually out there hunting, networking, getting deals? For those that are listening, like this is what a typical Gem's week look like as a flipper who also is a dedicated dad, husband, right? As you heard, is like, what does your week look like?
So on the deal, kind of like on the deal, I'm super fortunate, kind of like now I don't have to hunt for deals. if I really want to, I will. But like at this point now, like, like everybody just like sends it to me.
Right.
So I have that network of people and agents to kind of like, trust me that I would perform. So like I'm super fortunate in that part, but it's like on a weekly basis, I just wake up and try to work out. Like, wake up at 6, try to work 5, 6, try to work out. If it doesn't work, I help basically get my kids ready, iron their clothes, and then once they're in school, I do my thing. It's either depends on the day. Like, I sit here in my office, like do a bunch of like emails, phone calls, or if it's a day that I want to, typically I'll go out like on a Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll check on like sites and projects and stuff. And yeah, and then I'm usually done by maybe 1 or 2. Done meaning I'm back at home around 1 or 2. I'm constantly working though. I'm always like answering calls and phone calls, and as much as I want to say if my kids are around, I'm not at that point yet that I can keep saying no to everything. So I still say yes to like a lot of things. So
Okay.
But yeah, it's like, I obviously like, I control my schedule and all this stuff.
Right.
So I'm really blessed and fortunate about it.
So for the agents that are listening that want to get into investing, what do you think their first, what do you think the smartest first move or like first step they should actually take?
Get into investing. One of the easiest, I would say, traditional investing path, not necessarily flipping. I would say like buying your house and literally house hacking it is like one of house hacking, basically like renting your rooms, or if you have a guest house. We have a guest house in our house. Like I house hack it still. We have a renter there for like the last 2 years. They just recently moved out. So that's one of the easiest ways to do it. To get into flipping, that's like a whole different game. It all starts with a deal, and getting that right deal. There's so many avenues, but like the way I recommend getting your deals, it's like you got to network. You got to go to meetups. You got to meet everybody. I personally hate it, but I did it in the beginning. But
Yeah.
I hated it, but it's like I know I needed to do it.
Oh my gosh,
So-
I'll never forget in every meetup that I go to, it's like 96-7% males and very few females.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are the meetup for flippers that are women?
I know, right? It's like I think there's a lot more now, but like I haven't
Yeah,
been like super
now there
active,
is.
kind of like go
Yeah.
into like meetups and stuff. But it's like it's fulfilling, going over there, like seeing the people that you kind of like, in essence they
No.
came up with. But it's like for me, like I'm a natural introvert. Oh, it's exhausting. I'm just so drained afterwards. But
You
it's
have
one of the
very-
things.
Yeah, I think you have to, like, if you're going to flip, you have to network. You can't stay behind, or you can cold call, I guess.
Right. Yeah, you can try to get your own deals, but like for agents, like really, as an agent, you're kind of in front of the deal already. You need, as an agent, like we all have to train ourselves. Hey, you're just not listing, or you're just not helping this buyer get a house. You have to have that knowledge to kind of like, hey, this listing actually like qualified to be a flip, or is this, you can't, obviously, like if it's a house that's trash, like you can't put it in the market and expect like a
big
full
return.
retail value.
Yeah.
So as an agent, you have to have that tool in your tool belt to kind of, to be able to navigate that and present those ideas. So, that's one of the best things too. As an agent, like you're in front of the deal already. That's direct to seller in essence.
So cool. You've dropped a lot of knowledge when it comes to flipping. You're doing it out there. You're in the game. Where can people connect with you?
Instagram, and Facebook, Gem Montero. I think it's the best things. Like those are the only social medias I have, and send me a
Awesome.
message.
Yeah,
I'll try to
we'll
help
also
as
put
best
it
as
in
I
the show
can.
notes. That's awesome. So as we wrap up, there's always one question that I ask every guest on the show is, what does Gem do to play bigger in business or in life?
Whew, that's a good one. Things like being true to your core, kind of true to your like values. That's always kind of like my main motivator, and kind of like my main main thing in life. First and foremost, it's like my family. Obviously, it's like my kids. Like anything I do, it's like that's the only thing I think about. It's like nothing that I do is just
More
for
important.
for fun. It's basically just like I'm doing something and providing this value for like everybody, for these kids, right? So it's like, and kind of going full circle as a Filipino, I was blessed to kind of go over here. So I take pride to kind of like being not essentially a leader, but it's kind of like paying it forward in essence. Because I always think about it every day. Like kind of like I tell my wife, it's like out of everybody that I know, I grew up with, it's like, how did I get here? I don't know. I don't take that lightly because like I always think about it. I'm really prideful about it in essence. Yeah.
I'll never forget, just speaking on that note, when I was 10, I actually went to the Philippines. And your parents
that's
always tell you
awesome.
that they were poor growing up, but you never really believed it. But when I
Yeah.
actually saw my cousins like
Yeah.
they didn't have a washing machine. They actually went to the lake and washed their clothes and then like would put it in a
Yeah.
bucket and like carry it all the way. Or they weren't in fancy houses, or they didn't have an iron or a wash. You know what I mean? Like just the little things that we had here, it changed my perspective forever. And I was like, wow, we really do have an opportunity here in America, and we
Yeah.
get to create whatever we wanted. And I just believe it's all on effort, and you can't be lazy.
Oh, 100%. It's like literally, I mean, you've seen it, obviously, like you're Filipino, like how the poverty is over there,
Yeah.
and it's like just a whole different life. That's why I don't, when you hear people around here, like kind of like, hey, I started, like, hey, you grew up in the States though. I don't know. You have AC.
Yeah.
I don't know what's your excuse. So, I don't
Yeah. I
So,
mean, it
yeah,
just hits you different when it's also your family
Yeah.
member, right? Like we go to
Yeah.
Mexico, we go to different countries, but when
Yeah.
you actually see like you guys are related and this is how they live
Yeah.
every day, and they don't live in they live in the poor areas of the Philippines, you're like, wow, whatever I could do to help, right? So
Yeah.
I love that. I love your mission. I love your drive. You have like definitely some tenacity and relentlessness in you. And I think it's what truly makes you successful. Right? Where do you,
Thank you.
like,
Appreciate
one
that.
final question, where has that chip on your shoulder come from? Because usually when I interview a lot of successful people or that are doing massive things like you are, is, they have like this chip on their shoulder, whether it's a purpose, whether it's a mission, whether it's to prove somebody wrong. Where does that come from for you?
Shoot. I don't know, man. It's like literally, I think I just kind of like I grew up in a small town like an hour north of Manila. I grew up with all my my best friends and all these kids. It's like I'm really fortunate that I grew up there. I think, and I was exposed to like all those things, because it's like that's kind of like putting a downer. It's like so when my mom and dad like separated when I was really young. So all those like that's a contributing factor to kind of like the way I think. It's kind of like like, all those combined. It's like I don't have an excuse, pretty much. There's no way I can't be successful.
Is like there's no backup, there's no contingency. I'm gonna go for it and I'll figure it out, whatever comes my way, whatever challenge comes my way, which is really cool for your daughters, for your family to actually see live in action, because I think it obviously will impact them even in the future.
Yeah, 100%.
Simple.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for being on our podcast, Gem. You have shared so much with our audience. I hope they reach out to you, connect with you, and I can't wait to keep like cheering you on, supporting you, and obviously playing bigger and doing big things.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.